Look at the agenda. You see anything about e-cigarettes? And I don't care if you don't know what it's about. If it says e-cigarettes, call me, call Irv, let us know right away so that we can help. Now at the state level, not quite as immediate. And I'm going to go back to that point of that we worked for a year and a half to get a bill through the legislature here that went unanimously through the House and the Senate to set an age limit for the state of Michigan. Unanimously. And then that bill went to our governor's desk and it sat on the governor's desk until it expired and was not able to be used. I know myself and about 10 other people daily called Snyder's office and said, by the way, there happens to be a bill on your desk and we'd like you to sign it because this is the Youth Prevention Act for nicotine for the state of Michigan. And he did nothing because he had another agenda. Someone from ALA, someone from American Heart, whoever it was in his ear going, that's not enough, we need more, okay? So, again, this goes back to creating that relationship with your legislator so that we know when things are gonna happen. And that has to happen. Does it work? When last year there was a bill that was going through that they were gonna add some manufacturing restrictions on. And Representative Zemecki called me on the morning that it hit the news and said, Joe, before you read it in the news and start yelling at me, it's probably not going to get out of committee. You know? So, yes, you can create that dialogue, and yes, you can get representatives to create that, to be able to talk to you about what's going on at the state, local, and again, we're going to refer to the big boys for all the federal stuff. Did that answer your question, sir?
Kind of.
I wish I could.
Too much technical. Well, it's not really the technical. It's just it seems like we need to pay more attention to the local because you know what I mean. Like you said, it can be done in days.
Yes.
Instead of 2 years.
You're very much so.
So we all need our own advocacy within each city, state. You know what I'm saying, to monitor, like you said. But those are the ones that we should pay more closer attention to because they're going to have a bigger impact in that area.
We found out about the Kentucky three-tier taxing bill that went through last year because someone who worked in the state house was a vapor. So, yes, human intel is very important as we're trying to do this. Okay, it wasn't even filed as a standard bill. And by the way, if you think these things are done always in the light of day, exactly how it's supposed to do, the North Carolina tax bill was filed and submitted on the day after Memorial Day 2 years ago, on Tuesday, and went through the State House and was voted on that day. Okay, but Cook County went down in 12 hours? Yeah. Yeah, someone came up with the idea about 4 o'clock, and within 12 hours, Chicago, Cook County added a tax just like that. We did get some good news. In California, the one bill that wasn't signed was one that would have allowed every single county and every municipality in California to choose their own tax rate for this product. We're going to tax this from you. Just as a general statement. Yeah, FDA says we're a tobacco product. But remember when you may not remember, but they've always told us that we have tobacco taxes because of the harm they do to people, the increased cost of Medicare, all of this. Well, I'm going to tell you that that's a lie. They know that smokers will pay any cost that they can to get their cigarettes. And they're a cash cow that the state has been milking on a continuous basis. That so much to the point that the state of Oregon 2 years ago claimed that tobacco tax revenues were their 4th largest revenue for the state. If you want me to say yes to a sin tax, ain't no damn way. I am not paying that tax bill just because I chose to use this device. It's not fair. They need to balance their budgets and stop spending money. Quit milking consumers for more.
Places of business, work. I don't know if anybody else has a problem with doing it at work. I started vaping almost 5 years ago. For 2.5 years, I vaped at work. Nobody had an issue with it. Everybody else decided to quit smoking, and they did successfully. Now they're vaping at work, and I don't blow massive clouds, just little ones. I got in trouble 4 or 5 times from work, been suspended, because I use a little EVOD with a little spitter battery. We all know how big of a cloud that blows. Nothing. But one of the guys at work got caught smoking a joint, but because he's got a medical marijuana card, he gets scot-free. So why don't we get doctors involved in this and give us a medical?
Here's one of the
vaping
problems. Here's one of the problems in that particular thing you're talking. And the question is about at work. They've made rules that I can't smoke, or that they can't smoke, or they can't vape, or whatever. And as much as I would like to say that, well, you should rally against them and do whatever, the truth is you can take things like the study, the 100-page study that was just done by the Royal College of Physicians and see if they'll change their case. And I ask you to do it in a very congenial manner. And the reason why I ask you to do it in that manner is the very same thing that allows an individual establishment to say, no, you can't vape, allows in another establishment to make the decision that yes, you can vape. And if we do this massive cry against those property people who own that property, they're right that they made that choice. Well, then the alternative is they go to the state and say, we want these people to stop vaping, and then we have state law that does it, and there's no choice left. And I know that's not a very comfortable position, but it's one of those things we have to understand, that the same law that allows the owner of a property to say you can't vape is the same law that allows the owner of a property to say that you can. Our key, educate them. Educate them well so they understand your productivity will increase, there's no harm to bystanders, and in this case, again, that 5% harm, and that's right from the Royal College of Physicians. Okay?
I just want to throw something out. I was standing here thinking about, how many remember 8 years ago when Obama first ran for presidency? Okay? I've been hearing for almost 2 years, we can't do this on our own. We can't do this on our own. I want you to think back to that election cycle. One of the biggest reasons that he was elected, and I'm not talking politics here, I'm talking just facts. One of the biggest reasons that he was elected is because of the grassroots campaign. Let me say that again. The grassroots campaign that his team established online. Think about that for 1 minute. There's enough people in this room, there's enough people watching right now, and I'm sure there's going to be more watching later. If we have a mind, and I've been beating this drum for the better part of 1.5 years, if we have a mind to formulate a grassroots campaign and do a lot of the things that Joe has already mentioned, by getting involved, by talking to our elected officials, by going to the meetings, by having our voices be heard, we can turn this into an Obama-esque, if I can phrase it that way, grassroots campaign. I reject anybody that tells me we can't win this battle. We have every reason in the world to get involved and to stay involved. Okay? And I applaud every person that showed up today to be here, because there's not many seats left in the House. I really appreciate that. It lets me know that yes, you are concerned, and yes, you're not just here for the social event, the cloud comp, stuff like that. Okay? But your job as we move forward is to help educate people, to help bring more into the fold, to bring some of those 9 million vapors who have yet to find their way into the social media circle into this family. That's the secret, guys. If you got 9 million people motivated, forget where we're going to be 6 months or a year from now with people vaping. Because those numbers just keep going up. Am I right? And it's growing exponentially. It's not just growing 1 million or 2 here, 1 million or 2 there. It's growing exponentially. So we have an opportunity to do something that has yet to be done anywhere in the history of this country. And I'm a personal believer that this is quite possibly one of the greatest technical advances we've ever seen in our lifetimes. Did you have something?
I'll leave you with two notes. Everybody when I go to these shows, everybody comes over, past me on the back, says, thank you for being an advocate, thank you for doing this, thank you for standing up. I want to remind you that I said, a lot of people come up to me and they thank me for being an advocate, they thank me for doing this, thank me for doing that, but I'm going to remind you that as one voice, I change nothing. I change nothing. It takes all of you guys to make that difference. You're the ones with the power. All I am is a bell ringer. That's it. Washington Post this morning. It's the last thing I want to leave you, so you can think about it. Mainstream media. For years, we've been having this problem of how do we get something into the media that doesn't involve somebody that drank a bottle of e-liquid, or someone that blew up a battery, someone that got sick because they baked something somewhere or whatever. I mean, let's face it, up to this point, that's all you've seen, right? Today, as I sat down, that myriad of lies, Facebook, yeah, that's what I thought. There's an article from the Washington Post that a friend put on my timeline, and I read it, and it was a phenomenal article talking about the overreach of the FDA, written by a reporter who's not a vapor. And the last line in it said that the FDA has just given the entire vaping industry to big tobacco, the biggest boom that tobacco's had in 20 years, and dealt the most critical blow to public health ever made. We have the spotlight. This is the time where we don't need the funny guy in tights dancing. This is the time where we need, and I'm going to say this in a kind of a rough manner, we need the soccer moms. We need the business suits. We need the guys that work 9 to 5 in the coveralls, standing up and saying, I'm part of those vapors. I'm not afraid. Mainstream media will now see us as people. Why do we see so many things done for the sake of politics done to vaping? When was the last time you heard on the 6 o'clock news that the thing about labels for kids issue, the age issue, the e-liquid issue? Elections are won on issues. But let's not forget, elections are won by people voting. We are people. We are not freaks. Thanks a lot for your participation here. Yes, ma'am.
I have a personal opinion, maybe, I don't know, but because so many people are still smoking, people are dying, I just want to believe the way that maybe that they're thinking something along these lines as a form of population control, or is that wrong?
Well, there's a lot of debate on that. One of the most poignant photos that I saw on Facebook after the FDA release was a guy standing in front of a counter for vaping, and it said the hashtag, they don't care about my life. That's what we need. This is something that we can use, people. This is something we can use. Nobody really wants people dying. Okay? And you may notice that I haven't come up here talking about cessation. I'm going to tell you what the big crime is. 480 million people will die this year. And the next year. And the next year. 480 million people will die. 480,000, sorry, from smoking-related illnesses every year.
Just in this country.
Just here. It's worth it. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate all your attention.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Raffle time.
You're all here. Let's do the raffle. I'd like you guys, if you have any more questions, come up, stop and talk to these guys. They're going to be here for quite some time. They've also got some e-liquids and goodies for you guys. So we'll kick this thing back off. DJ.
DJ, come on, spin that shit. 20?
Good to see everybody in here.
I wanted to stand up and I'm like,
All right. Who wants a mod, an R200? Oh, you already got more tickets coming? All right. We're going to raffle off.
Anybody buying tickets, get them now. This is going to be the last time we're
I'll take a third RX200.
Want some?
Yeah, if you guys need tickets, please come up here and grab some tickets, get in on this, because we have a lot of stuff to give away this afternoon. If you haven't signed up for the Cloud Comp, do that as well. If you want to get in, it's $10. We're much grown, so.
Regretfully, I don't pay attention to it. I'll give you a lead on
Only one guy.
Like I said, guys, use your raffle tickets, get in on this Cloud Comp. Got a lot of stuff to give away.
How's Jerry Cole? All the ones that they take, right here for your name. All right, here we're just sitting here.
I'd like about to clear up.
Yeah, right. It's like $400. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Looks like things are impressive. Yeah, right. Yeah, how do I sign up? Right there?
I did mine online.
You got anyone who's signing up, go over there, speak the board, get your name on the board. Come back and sign up.
Box.
great. Working hard. Say what up.
What's up, man? What up?
What up?
Shout out. What's on wafer?
By the way, guys, I just want to point one thing out. Half of the proceeds